Let's start, guys. So as I was saying, I am Nadia. I'm part of the Digital Nomads Association team. I'm a digital nomad and I'm from Colombia. I'm from Bogota. So I'm very happy to have you here once again. So I know some of you guys. And let me introduce my team. So this is the Digital Nomads Association team. So Maria, so she is not here. So she's a digital nomad from Canada. Actually, she got the Digital Nomad Visa 4 months ago, I think. So in the future, she will be able also to answer your questions. She got the Digital Nomad Visa with Cesar. So it's a really nice experience also to share with us because the team also, we are digital nomads. So we also need like the requirements of the government, etc. Except us that we are Colombians, of course. Carolina, so Carolina is over here. So hola, Caro.
Hola, everybody. Thank you for being here. So I'm Carolina. You probably have seen me around Facebook groups because I'm very active there. I'm from Bucaramanga and I'm part of this Digital Nomads Association Colombia project. So I'm very happy that you're interested in getting the Digital Nomad Visa. So welcome.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Caro. So we have also Francois. I saw Francois enter into the Zoom. So hola, Francois.
Hola, chicos. Soy François de Canada, in Medellín. Ahora, welcome everybody. I'm currently in the process of getting my digital nomad visa. I should be getting it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's nice. In any moment you will get like the email like with the approval. Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Gracias, Francois. Laura, I don't know if Laura is here, our community manager. So no, she's not here. Maria Consuelo, hola.
Hey, hello, hi everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm super excited to be here. I know part of the team right now. I'm totally open to learn everything that Cesar is going to share with us.
Okay, Maria, thank you very much. So she's like the new member of this team of the Digital Nomads Association team. So we are like super happy. I'm very excited that she joined us. And okay, so we are gonna start with the until we have like our two ambassadors. So Johnny is also here. So hola, Johnny.
Hola, Nadia, ¿cómo están?
Bien, muy bien.
Very happy to be here, people. My name is Johnny Rios. I'm the founder and community manager of Gringo Paisa, Americans in Medellin. And I'd say I've been a digital nomad for many, many years before it even became a thing. I'm currently based here in Phoenix, Arizona. But I'm looking to go back to Medellin, my parents' hometown, later this year, and definitely continue being an ambassador and for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johnny. So he's a really, really important person for us, our ambassador, and also because he has like this huge community, Gringo Paisa, Gringo Rolo, Gringo Caleño, that is like very supportive for expats and also for digital nomads, Americans and other nationalities. So thank you very much for everything that you are doing for us, Johnny. Our second ambassador, it is John. So I don't know if he's here. So can you please, for the guys that they are just entering to the Zoom meeting, so if you can mute your microphone, it's gonna be perfect, so we don't have like interruptions. So John is not here. He is a business consultant, so you can follow him also on the social media. So he's another ambassador, digital nomad from Bogota. He's currently in Spain. Okay, so now let's go so let me introduce to Cesar. So Cesar is like also part of the team of the Digital Nomads Association. So he is an attorney. So Cesar, so this is like your turn.
Hello. Well, everybody, I hope most of you know me. I've been here in several events. I'm an expat as well and an attorney here in Colombia. I'm the founder of Castro and Salazar Law Group, and I'll be here to explain some updates in regards to the Digital Nomad Visa. Next, please. Well, I want to introduce my team. We're lawyers that are located not only in Colombia, but in Panama and Ecuador. We also have tax consultants here in Colombia, as well as a certified translator and a financial expert. Next, please. This is our social media. So if you guys want to contact us and you want updates in regards to Colombian law, in regards to purchasing property or any type of visa in Colombia, this is the social media. If you want to follow us through Instagram, it's CS Law Group at CS Law Group. And we also have a webpage, cslawgroup.com. And in our webpage, there's also information in regards to the requirements of the Digital Nomad Visa and all updates in regard to Colombian law for expats. Let's begin. The Digital Nomad Visa. So the scope: to provide remote work services or teleworking from Colombia through digital means and internet. So basically, it's anyone that has a contract abroad or a service agreement and that is working remotely here in Colombia. The validity of this visa is up to 2 years. It's very important to clarify that a lot of people have been asking me, well, do they give you the 2 years complete? No, it's under the discretion of the Colombian government. Out of the experience, since this is an update webinar, out of the time that I've been soliciting digital nomad visas, we've had the minimum time that we've reached is 1 year, and we've had some clients that have been approved for 2 years. So it varies, it depends. The government doesn't always give it the 2 years for this digital nomad visa, but the law indicates it's up to 2 years. So it's under the discretion of the immigration officer. Can we have beneficiaries or is this a beneficiary visa for this type of visa? Yes. For example, if you're a digital nomad and you have children under the age of 25 and you have your spouse and you want to travel with them, this type of visa grants you what is called a beneficiary visa so that you can come over with your family and enjoy this beautiful country. Next, please. What are the requirements? Well, this is the important part. Let's begin with the first requirement. Letter in Spanish or English issued by one of several foreign companies for which the foreigner provides his services. It's very important to clarify this because there's been issues in regards to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I had an incident out of my experience where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs requested that the document be translated. It was a document in English, and the law clearly states that the letter can be in Spanish or English. So I had to send in a legal document to refute this request from the government, because as long as your letter for the employment letter is sent in Spanish or English, it complies with the government request. This letter, what does it have to have? It has to have your salary, what type of contract you have, if you have a service agreement, or you're a direct employee, the time that you started in this company, and for example, what your position is in this company. It's a letter, it's a basic letter that should have the logo of the company signed by human resources or general manager, whoever signs these types of documents. And that would be in regards to the letter. Next, please. Requirement number 2, demonstrate through bank statements to have a minimum income equivalent to 3 current minimum legal monthly wages. In Colombia, everything is done by the minimum wage. So right now it's at 1,160,000 pesos approximately. And if we put it into the exchange rate of today, you would have to earn at least $770, which is not that much, I mean, to comply with during the last 3 months. It's important that the bank statements have to show that you are making within the last 3 months equivalent or more to $770. So this is very important. And yeah, please, next. This is the most important part. This is the one that we've, at my law firm, we've had several issues, but we've gone through the loops and have been able to comply. And I'm going to give you this information, which is very important. The health policy. With coverage in Colombia against all risk in case of accident, illness, maternity, disability, hospitalization, death, or arbitration. So it's important that you have an actual travel insurance. It's very different from insurance that you have like an IPS, which is something that's kind of through the Social Security. It has to be an international travel insurance that complies with these points that I've just specified. It has to have a beginning and an end date. Some people come to me and say, look, I have, a month-to-month coverage. That won't suffice. It has to be a coverage that has a beginning and an end date of at least a year. So the coverage, why is it important? Because the health policy is connected to your visa. So if you have a coverage of 3 months, they're going to say, well, this person's not interested in staying a year or more. And a lot of people ask me, Cesar, what if I purchase a 2-year plan, a 2-year policy? Does that guarantee that I receive the 2 years of the visa? No, it doesn't guarantee it. It's under, like I mentioned before, it's under the discretion of the immigration officer. So if they want to grant you the 2 years, they will grant you. If they don't, then they'll give you just a year. Out of my experience, it did go through once when we sent in the documentation of a policy for 2 years. They gave them the 2 years, but it doesn't always work. The minimum year time that we've received that we've gotten approved has been no less than a year. So it's very important that your health policy complies with all these requirements, because this is a fundamental policy that is connected to your visa. Next, please. So these are some of the insurance companies or policy providers that I've had experience with. For example, with the Syscard, they're an international travel insurance provider. They're very good. But something that you have to keep in mind that's very important is that you have 2 options. You either purchase it from the States or wherever country you're from, and then before you travel to Colombia. Why? Because if you try to purchase it through their website, they're going to say, or if you call them, they're going to say, oh, you're in Colombia, because a lot of people try to purchase it while they're here in Colombia. We can't sell you that policy because you're already in Colombia. However, my firm has an alliance with one of the sales directors of a Syscard here in Colombia, and he will sell you this policy. And you also get benefits because of an alliance we have. You do have a discount if you contract our services. You just have to show them your voucher, and they will give you good prices, and they know already what to do. You don't even have to let them know or ask them. Just say Digital Nomad Visa, and they already will know what to do and what type of policy they have to sell you. With Nomad, I don't have an alliance with them. I've seen that several clients have purchased through them. I believe that they're with insurance or travel insurances for people from Canada. I don't have much experience with them. I've seen that some clients have gone through them, so you can check them out. Maybe call them or go through their website and see what kind of coverages they have. If they can comply with the points that I mentioned, that would be a good option. Worldtrips.com. I've also seen, and visas have gone approved with this policy provider. We don't have an alliance, like I mentioned, with this insurance provider. However, the visas that I've gotten approved have been policies with worldtrips.com. They have an insurance, I believe, through Lloyd's, and they comply with the points that we need. Next, please. What are the government fees? For example, we have our legal fees that we have with our clients in regards to processing a visa. However, there's additional fees, which are these fees, the government fees. $55 for the review of the documentation. So when we help our clients expedite everything, we do a checklist, we organize everything, we represent them, and then we send in the information. But the client has to pay through a link of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, $55 to review the document, for the government to review the documentation. So this is a process of at least a month. That's the time that the government has to review the documentation. And once the visa is approved, then we go to the next step. They send us an approval email, and then you have to pay $178 approximately for them to send you the actual electronic visa with a QR code and everything. So that's a total of $233 that you have to pay the government. And additionally, we have the ID card. What is the ID card, or cédula of extranjería? That ID card is very important. It's any visa that surpasses 3 months automatically gets an ID card, or has to get an ID card. This is actually a requirement. The ID card is very convenient. You can open up a bank account. You can sign a lease agreement if you're going to rent an apartment legally, and you can also, get your cable service, anything, gas bill, everything. So it kind of makes things practical if you're thinking of long term, because with a passport, many entities, they won't even look at you. There's because of their policies, etc. Next, please. And now I have the fortune of having 2 clients of mine that have recently gotten their digital nomad visa approved. Chelsea and Marina. Chelsea, Marina, are you there?
Yeah, she's actually just on my computer with me, if that's all right.
All right. Hi, ladies. How are you? Good to see you.
See you. How's everyone doing?
Great. Thank you. If you'd like to share your experience, it would be very grateful.
Sure. So we were sort of watching, we heard about the digital nomad before it was even really released, and we were sort of watching that and keeping track of it. And when we finally decided that we wanted to definitely go ahead with that, we knew that there was no way we wanted to risk doing it ourselves and messing up and not getting the visa. So we immediately found you, Cesar, through Facebook, because everybody was recommending you. And from the very beginning, we gave him a call, and I remember he said right away, if you need anything, text me at any time. And he really meant it. So communication was really, really open from start to finish. The process was super simple because he told us everything we needed right away. It was very clear. We knew what to expect. We knew a basic idea of a timeline, which was nice. And every once in a while, he told us from the beginning, there might be things, where they ask for more information or where they ask for clarification of something. And that did happen. But, all that required from us was he would send us something and say, hey, can you sign this? I'm going to send it in. They need this from us. So it was super simple, super easy and straightforward. And now we both have digital nomad visas and are here in Cali, and are very, very pleased to be here, and have recommended you, Cesar, to everyone on Facebook whenever they ask.
Thank you so much, Chelsea and Marina. It's great to see you, ladies. And it was a pleasure working with you. And remember, if you need anything, again, I'm at your disposal. Thank you so much for those comments. I appreciate it.
Means that, guys.
He does. I called a lot.
Yeah, we talked with Marina a lot. But very, very, very beautiful ladies. Thank you for your time and taking this time to give your experience. And again, if you ever need anything, of course, I'll be at your disposal. It was a pleasure working with you. Okay, and next, please. Now we're going to explain a little bit about the beneficiary visa, for if you have, for example, family members that want to come over with your digital nomad. Basically, it's for a spouse or permanent partner, children under the age of 25, and children with disabilities. So if you're thinking of coming over with your families, remember you can request a beneficiary visa, which is for family members. Next, please. Changes to the visa regimen. So this I explained in the previous webinar, however, it's important to highlight. The immigration authority will have up to 30 calendar days to issue an announcement when previously this term was only 5 days. So a lot of clients call me and they ask me, Cesar, my visa is close to expiration. Do you think I can apply for this visa? Yes, however, it's always best to have sufficient time. If you have your tourist permit for 30 and 90 days, do it as soon as you can, because the thing is right now the government's taking long, and there are cases that even though the law indicates that they have 30 days to review documentation, a lot of times they've taken more. They've taken up to 35, 40, 45 days. And then I have to jump in and send in what is called the derecho petición, which is a legal document, which is a complaint against the government for not complying with the 30 days that they were supposed to comply with. But we can go through all that, but if it's possible to avoid this with having sufficient time and just complying with the requirements. But it's important to know that 30 days is what the review part is going to take. The time for issuing the electronic visas will go from 3 business days up to 10 business days. So before, well, to be honest with this part, once the visa is approved and you pay the 173, I believe, we usually get it like the next day or the next 2 days. So it doesn't take that long, but the government has up to 10 days. So you have to be aware of this change. Visa stamping will no longer be mandatory. Yeah, everything's done through a digital visa. A lot of people ask me, do you have to print it out and carry it with you? No, you can have it on your cell phone. I'll send it to you. We'll send you the PDF format of the digital visa, and you can have it on your phone. When you go through customs, you just show it, and that's a valid document. So you don't have to print it out or have it. Next, please. Okay. Can I apply for a visa while I'm abroad? Yes. A lot of clients call me from different parts of Europe, United States, Canada, and they say, look, I'm not in Colombia yet. I want to apply for this visa. Can I do it? Do I have to wait until I get to Colombia? No, we can help you do it through the consulate. Everything's online. So it's not like you have to come over. Everything is 100% online. So we can facilitate this for you. We can do it through a consulate. We have to do a different procedure, but it's possible. So for example, we recently had one of our clients get a digital nomad visa, and they were in Atlanta. He didn't travel yet. He was thinking of just finishing some things in the States, and we did it through a consulate, and a week later we got an approval. So everything went well, everything went perfectly, and it was done through a consulate. So he didn't even have to be here in Colombia to get the visa approved. But it answers what could I receive back from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Well, the best one, approved. That's the one that I'm always happy to receive, the approved. Required, that means that the government needs to, they need more information. They want to request more information. Another document, more information, etc. Not approved, that means that something didn't suffice, so it means that we have to start it over again. It's a new process. It doesn't mean you can't reapply. It just means that they just saw something in the documentation that wasn't compliant, and they just wanted to not approve the visa. Or denied, which is the worst case scenario. Denied means that, well, there's something that was suspicious to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, something that didn't sit well with them. So they denied the visa, and that means that you can't reapply for the next 6 months, which is like the worst case scenario. Okay, what documents need to be apostilled or legalized? This is a frequent question that I've received from clients. Anything that comes from abroad, for example, a birth certificate, a diploma, needs to be apostilled. For example, in the United States, it goes through the particular state where you receive the document. For example, in Virginia, it has to be signed by the Secretary of State. There's a whole process. But yes, anything that comes from abroad, an official document, for example, diploma, birth certificate, for certain visas, we do need that documentation, and it has to be apostilled or legalized. Let me just clarify that legalized, for example, in Canada, they're not part of the Convention of La Haya, so the documentation has to be legalized. So it depends if your country is part of the Convention of La Haya, which is this treaty for documentation that has to be sent from abroad. So certain documentation has to be legalized or apostilled. Additionally, from being apostilled or legalized, has to be certified translation of the document if it's in another language other than Spanish. And very important, the certified translator, which we have an in-house certified translator, has to be Colombian and has to be certified by the Universidad Nacional, which is the university that grants this permission of certified documentation to these people, to the individuals. And it can't be a certified translation from, for example, from a website that provides this in another country. It has to be a Colombian certified translator. Next, please. And that's it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, of course, I'm at your disposal. And this is my website. This is my WhatsApp, 300-375-3032. You can find more information, or you can even set up an appointment with us through cslawgroup.com. And, I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you very much, Cesar. I think it was very, very clear. So there are already some questions that we can start to answer, sorry. So somebody is asking, if you only get 1 year, can you extend it?
Well, once you get a visa approved, that year is for that year only. Then you would have to go through another process. Once the expiration of your visa comes close, then you would have to look at another type of visa or solicit a new application with that type of visa. But there's no extensions for the visas. There's only new applications.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, somebody is asking about like this Suda company, which is like a very well-known insurance company. So this, you can hire like this company for this visa. This Suda is covered.
We don't have an alliance with Suda. It's just a recommendation that we give that you can go through them. We have no, commercial agreement with Suda, but you can go to their website, maybe contact them, let them know that you need this type of policy, and they can help you for the purchase.
Yes, but but the question is like, can we not we, because I'm not gonna apply for the digital nomad visa, but a nomad can just like purchase this insurance in order to get the visa. So this company works for the digital nomad visa in Colombia.
Yes, you just have to let them know that you need coverage in Colombia, because a lot of insurance companies, they give you policies for only Europe or only United States and Europe. You have to make sure that whoever is going to grant or provide you with this policy, let them know that your coverage needs to be at least for 1 year in Colombia. If the policy, and that's something that we do as well through our firm, we review the documentation, and if there's anything before you purchase the policy, we make sure that it complies. But just as general information, make sure that it's at least 1 year and there's coverage within Colombian territory. That's important.
Yes, very good. So we have like some questions, like 2 or 3 questions about taxes, and I think that the taxes thing is like very important for all the digital nomads. And I think you correct me, Cesar, that it depends on the country, your nationality, and it depends on the country. But somebody is like asking, okay, how is like the taxes working if you spent more than 180 days in Colombia? So that how it works with the taxes and this visa. So
Okay, well, I'm not a tax expert. However, we do have a in-house tax expert. The general information that I can give you is that if you're here more than 183 days, then you do become responsible of declaraciones, or tax responsible for taxes. However, one thing is to declare, one thing is what you have to pay. So it depends case by case. It depends on assets and purchases that you do in Colombia that surpass a certain amount. I believe it's 52 million pesos. So if you purchase an apartment, a vehicle, and then you become responsible for the taxes in regard to these assets or purchases that you make. However, it wouldn't be responsible on my behalf to give out information or precise information of something that I'm not an expert of. But we do have an in-house accountant and a tax expert. We have helped certain clients with a meeting to kind of clarify some certain situations in regards to their taxes. But in general, if you do stay more than 183 days, you do become a declarante, which is called in Colombia, and then you are responsible for taxes. However, like I mentioned, one thing is to declare taxes, and one thing is if you really have to pay taxes. But this is information that is best to sit down with the tax expert and talk about different assets, different circumstances, and then they'll give you the correct information.
Is it true also that it depends on the nationality, that different nationality have like different agreements with the country, like kind of a bilateral agreement? So I have heard that, but I'm not pretty sure about the topic.
Yes, there are countries, for example, Spain, there's a treaty, a tax treaty, which there are situations that can be exempt. The United States, unfortunately, doesn't have this treaty with Colombia, but there are countries, one of them, I believe, is Spain, and some other countries. And there's a particular treaty within these countries for tax exemption. That's correct.
Okay, thank you. So there's Giselle is asking like, what about the employment letter? So do you need to show you're currently actively employed with the company, that you are actively in the company, or simply show a start date? So this is like probably the details, how many details we need for the employment letter.
Okay. Their specific details is the general information. For example, your position. For example, if you're a freelance developer, or if you're a sales director, your salary. For example, if you make a monthly salary of $3,000, how long you've been with the company, and just the general information of your service agreement. Something that I have to mention. Now that we're at this point, additionally, you have to have a service agreement or a direct employment contract. So, because they're going to require it. And through our firm, what we do, if you do contract our services, we do provide you with a template. We've seen so many people that the companies they work for, they're like, we don't even know how to start this document. So through our services, we'll provide you with a template, and all your employer has to do is just fill it out. And we also help with, drafting up a service agreement. If your employer is having difficulties finding one, we can draft it for you, and that's all included in the price that we have for the visa service. And just to let you know, if you're part of this webinar or you're a member of the Digital Nomad Association, you get a special rate. You have a special price. So remember that being part of this association is very important. You get benefits. So keep that in mind. If you'd like to contract our services, remember just to mention you're part of this webinar and are a member of the Digital Nomad Association. And that, I hope that answers the question. That template has to be very specific. Doesn't have to be, extensive. Salary, position, initiation date, type of contract, if it's a service agreement, if you're a freelancer, or you're a direct employee.
And what about the entrepreneurs? I'm a digital nomad, I'm an entrepreneur. So what about like this employment letter if you are an entrepreneur or also a freelancer? So what about those cases?
For a freelancer, all we would need is the same letter from the person that's contracting your services and a service agreement. So, and mostly through, legal standards, you would have to have a service agreement with the scope of the services, duration, everything, all these little details, and signed by both parties. So we do need a letter. If you're a freelancer, you should have at least a service agreement. And if the employer can, or the person is contracting your services can write a letter, that'd be also very important. If you're an entrepreneur, what I've done with a lot of clients is that since, for example, you're the owner of your business, you can be contracted as an employee as well. So you just need, just to have a letter that you're an employee, I'm sorry, and you have a service agreement. But it's easier a lot of times because if you're the owner of your business, legally you can be contracted through your company, and we can expedite this documentation.
Exactly. Very good. So we have like only a few minutes, 5 minutes more for questions, probably 2 or 3 more questions, no more than that. So, but for people that they want 2 more questions, you just can put it on the chat. And also we are willing to answer them, and Cesar is willing to answer them. And we are going to post it on our Facebook group, Digital Nomads Colombia. So this is what we did the last time in the last webinar that it was in December. So we can do it like that. So we are not forget you. We are going to answer all the questions, but the thing is like, we don't have like that much time. Okay. So let's go for another 2-3 questions. And this is a question that I get a lot of the nomads that I know in Colombia. And this is like, normally, so some people or the majority of people, they decide to apply for the Digital Nomad Visa during and in Colombia. So but you have like 6 months or 6 months of this tourist time. So when is the right time to apply for the Digital Nomad Visa? Like 1 month in advance, or what is the right time during your tourist time in Colombia?
Well, yes, that's correct. If you're, for example, if your plan is to stay long-term, I mean short-term, let's say within 6 months, because that's what legally you have a year to stay in Colombia, then you don't need, a visa. If you're thinking, look, I'm just going to stay 4 months, then I'm going to leave. Stay with your tourist permit, it's called. However, if you're gonna stay, if you're thinking of staying a year or 2 years, I would recommend as soon as possible, because like I mentioned, there's I don't know if anyone knew, but there's a new resolution that came out, 5477 of 2022, that changed the immigration process. So it's made it a little bit more complicated. And so that's why when I first started the webinar, when I started talking, I mentioned the fact that they have to respond within a month. However, in reality, a lot of times they've taken 40, 45 days, more than that. And we, of course, with our clients, we help them, and we send in a derecho petición or legal action so that this is done faster. However, time is of an essence in regard to your visa process, because if you wait too close to your expiration of your tourist permit, which, remember, it's 90 days with an extension of an additional 90 days. It's not that you get the 180 days automatic. Remember, you have 90 days, that's the first step, and then you ask for an extension for the other 90 days. But going back to the point, it's important that you give yourself enough time, because if you wait a month, it won't be sufficient. If you want, maybe give yourself 3 months, but our recommendation is to do it. If your intention is to stay long-term, yeah, do it within the last 3 months of your tourist permit, you know, maybe before, but it's crucial because the time that you have, that's what's going to, you know, be the factor of getting your visa approved or having to, you know, ask for a salvoconducto because your time expired and you're illegal, and then you have to pay a fine, and then oh, it's a whole mess. So my recommendation is give yourself time. You know, if you deal with us or you deal with anybody else, it's important that you do it with time.
Yes. So there's so Ivan is asking if there's like other type of visas, because he has heard that digital nomad visa doesn't count towards permanent residency. So first, this is true, it doesn't count as a permanent residency. So a person that is that wants to be a permanent resident in Colombia, so it's better to apply to another visa, or what? I know that you also help with other type of visas, but what do you think about this, Cesar?
Well, yeah, that's true. The digital nomad visa is something for people that just come that are not thinking of becoming, you know, residents. For example, if your intention is to get a residency in Colombia, then the digital nomad visa is not your best choice. I would opt for an M category because the digital nomad visa is a V category. That means a visitor. And there's other visas that are under the category of M visa, which is migrant. So if your intention is to stay here 5, 10 years, or just make Colombia your home or your final, you know, destination, then the digital nomad visa is not your best choice, because you do not have the option of becoming a resident in Colombia. If your intention is just to go around South America and stay here in Colombia 1 year, 2 years, then go to Ecuador, go to Peru, which that's what normally digital nomads do, then the digital nomad visa is your best option.
Yes, thank you very much. So unfortunately, we don't have time, but you have time still, like, to answer, to write down all the questions that we have, and I promise that we are going to answer. You also can contact us through the Facebook group, and so can we please go to the next slide so we can show a little bit about the Digital Nomads Association. How can you contact us? So all the members of the Digital Nomad Visa, they have, like, actually, as Cesar says, and this is like the last question that I want to answer, about the fees, yes, because somebody's asking, okay, how much is the fee and how much percentage a member of the Digital Nomad Association has, like this type of discount. So Cesar, what is your fee and the discount?
Well, right now our fees for non-members that are part of this association ranges from 250 to 300. If you are a member of this association, we'll give you a special rate of $200.
Okay, super. Thank you very much. So we have, like, mainly, if you go to our website, the Digital Nomads Association Colombia. So again, we are a non-profit organization. So our main objective is, like, to connect, to inspire, and to guide digital nomads in Colombia. And also we have, like, some alliances with entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, that they are, like, they are offering services for digital nomads and sustainable tourism. So this is our main goal, just to connect you guys with the local services, and yeah, and to guide in the digital nomad path in Colombia. So so we have, like, 3 benefits: special discounts with the partners, like Cesar, which is like our lodger, and also with access to the community, access, like, to ask, like, direct questions to any kind of thing that you need, and also exclusive events, group events online, and also in person. We had some of them, like, recently. We will have more in the future, so we are, like, very willing also to have like some ideas, or also some other kind of things that you will like to have as a digital nomad in Colombia. So we are gonna save like this chat and for the question that we didn't answer. So I promise we are gonna post it recently on the Digital Nomads group, Facebook group, and also we are gonna upload this video on the YouTube channel. Okay, so yeah, so thank you very much, Cesar, and thank you very much, everyone, and see you next time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.